So within the research of things, first of all, you have to go into to explain or define to any other individual this term and why. Peace, love, and bliss, family. This new wave right here is going to be called, well, I guess it's going to be Muslims are Christians. That's right. Muslims are Christians. Or when you see the irrefutable facts we're going to present you today, we're not even going to make it too long, family. But these are really the facts to break a Negro's back. Because we like to be victims of this acculturation process for too long. Right now, some of us even do it voluntarily, thinking that by taking up religions or these foreign traditions that do not apply to us as black people, right, that it's okay. You understand? Or sometimes do it so much that thinking that it emanated from us. No, this is not the case. And this is a typical example, right, of Islam as well on black people. Because we've been touching Christianity for quite some time, yeah, but now we're gonna even be branching out and even showing because again, Christianity envelopes Catholicism, Pentecostal, Adventist, all of them. So we kind of deal with all of them. But we see this sort of rise, okay, in St. Lucia here on this Islam religion. And yes, everyone is entitled to their belief, but probably you were not presented with such set facts to see that this religion actually has nothing to do with black people. Considering also that the very first period of slavery that we encountered as a black people from the motherland was the trans-Saharan slave trade, where we were held captive against our will by those same Arabs who call on the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So by showing you Muslims are basically our Christians, we're basically showing you that while they try to differentiate, they are one and the same. Because this statement actually goes around anything the Quran or a Muslim stands for. I mean, there are certain verses, what they call surahs within the Quran, that say you have to wage war or even kill the unbelievers. Now, because the Christians do not believe in the Quran or in Allah, they are considered as the unbelievers, right? So I'm going to show you again, family, that the Muslims are Christians, rebellious ones, but nonetheless, they still are Christians. So let's go right in. So the family will know that the religious corpus of Islam, the religious book, is the Quran, right? And in it, it speaks of the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad himself even had his own writings that they refer to as the Hadith. Okay? Now, Muslims will tell you that the Quran was given to them in a pure language by Allah. This pure language is what they call Arabia Fusha, which what they call classical Arabic, right? But the thing about that is, family, and this is the very first point we're now going into. The thing about that is the Quran, right, is actually a Syriac word. There's a language within a certain people called Syriac, right? Syriac. Now that is the very first language that the Quran was written in. Okay? The Quran was written in Kashuni because Arabic as a language, as we know it, didn't develop until 60 years after the very first Quran was written. So what does that say? That says the very first Quran wasn't written in Arabic like the Muslims say that Allah said. You understand? When you look up the definition, because, I mean, for the family who is a bit, let me just repeat it, right? The Quran, Islam, being a Muslim, is an Arabic tradition. So the original Quran is in Arabic, as they say. It's in Arabic. If you want to join Islam right now, you will have to learn Arabic for you to read the Quran. Not in English, but in Arabic for them to see, for you to be a true adherent. Right? For you to understand the word properly. But the thing is, while they tell you that the Quran was given to them in a pure language from Allah to Muhammad and given to them, okay, if you do not do your research, you will not know that the very first Quran was written in Kashuni. Kashuni is when basically you borrow letters and you put diacritical marks on them from another language. That other language is what they call Syriac. So Kashuni borrowed alphabets, okay, from the Syriac alphabet to form their own words, family. But it is still Syriac. So the word Quran is actually a Syriac word. So the English word Quran is a rendition of the Arabic word Qurania. Qurania, right? It's an English rendition of that. Now, if you go to look up the definition of it, what this means, it means lexicon or lectionary. What is a lectionary or lexicon, you ask? It is a book put together of liturgical readings, hymns, and biblical extracts used and created for hosting a Christian service. And that's just facts, family. Let me say it again. The word Quran, the English word Quran, came from the Arabic word Qurania. When you go look up the definition of that word in Syriac, because remember, before Arabic, okay, Arabic as a language was developed 60 years after the Syriac language. They use letters from the Syriac alphabet. When you do that, it's called Kashuni, and when you put diacritical marks for you to be able to give it different tones and pitches, like they do in Spanish, for example, right? When you go look up the definition of Qurania or Quran, it means lexicon or lectionary. That in itself is a book, okay, which consists of liturgical readings, hymns, family, and biblical extracts used to hold a Christian service. So your religious corpus, your first book, we haven't even really gone into the religion per se, but your first book, what you adhere to, and you say because it has the name Allah in it that you are Islam, that book was actually created for Christian services, which is why some of the family has even seen pictures of the Pope kissing the Quran. You see what I'm saying, family? So that is the very first point, that Muslims are really Christians. Now, remember I said, second point, remember I said the language that Arabic was taken from is called Syriac, okay? Syriac, there is a Syriac tradition and a Syriac religion as well. The religious corpus of the Syriac religion or the tradition is called the Peshitta, right? The Peshitta. Now, family, the Peshitta is the religious corpus of the Syriac tradition. Syriac existed before Arabic. Is when the onset of Arabic come, we have this Islam thing being created. Now, I'm showing you, if you go to look up the Peshitta, right, you will see that it is a Christian book. And in the Peshitta, the word they use for God is Allah. How's about that, family? How's about that? So we have, family, for number one, your religious corpus that you really stand on, right, was actually created, is called lexicon or lectionary in its original language when you translate it. Okay, and what is a lexicon? It is a book with liturgical readings, hymns, and biblical extracts created for use in a Christian service. I didn't say it, go look it up. Right? That is one. So second point, family, recap. Syriac, right, existed before Arabic. There's a Syriac tradition, there's a Syriac religion. The religious corpus of the Syriac religion is called the Peshitta. And that Syriac religion is Christian in origin, in its root, family. And the Peshitta, which is the book for the Syriac tradition, which is Christian, in that book, the Peshitta, the word they refer to God as is Allah. A Christian tradition, they refer to God as Allah, family. Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the Arabic word for basically just Allah. And when you break it down, Allah just means the, and Lam is God. You see what I'm saying? So this is the second point, family. Recapping the first point, Quran means lexicon, is actually a book created for Christian services. And number two, the language which you borrowed from to make the language, the Arabic language, which is supposed to be the holy language straight from Allah to Muhammad, but we can see that's a lie, right? You all borrowed that language to create your book, but that language which existed before you guys also had its own tradition and its religious corpus called the Peshitta, that they refer to God in the Peshitta as Allah. That is 2 points upside your head. Okay? And lastly, family, which is very obvious, is the dressing of Muslim and Christian women. Can someone tell me the difference? Can you see a difference there, family? You see what I'm saying? So, these religions are basically one and the same. The very first set of Muslims used to turn, I mean, right now you'll see all Muslims say they turn into the direction of Mecca, right? But within those times, all Muslims prayed to the direction of Jerusalem. And we know Jerusalem as a Christian, Judaic hold, you can say. Community, state, country, whatever we want to call it. So, in reality, though they try to differ themselves and differentiate themselves and say that they're not the same, these two religions, family, are one and the same. So don't mind the God saying, oh, the Christian God already jack or the Muslims already jack Christianity. It's one and the same. Don't let them fool you. But Christianity and the another guys or these guys, being that these individuals are Arabic and from that region, so put it to suit their tradition. And we're going to give you more and come with more of those facts to break a Negro's backs, when it comes to Islam. We're going to come with more of those videos, family. So stay tuned. But this is just a little breakdown, right? And bring an understanding to probably the family that was starting to gravitate towards that tradition. That this is still as a result of acculturation. And that religion, which is Arabic in origin, along with a lot of the ridiculous sayings that we're going to make another video on, we can show you evidently, and we have shown you, that that religion called Islam is actually Christian in its root for 3 reasons. Quran, the name of its religious corpus, is actually means lexicon or lectionary, which is a book which consists of liturgical readings, hymns, and biblical extracts created to be used for Christian service. The language which they copied Arabic from has its own tradition where they use a book called the Peshitta, which are Christians, and in the Peshitta they use the word Allah to refer to God as. And lastly, we can see that the women within those religions dress similar, and even the men as well. And having said that, family, stay woke. It is the awakening. Peace, love, and peace.